Have you ever thought to yourself that serving people and loving people is inconvenient? Hey friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always enjoy connecting with you midweek. I sure hope that you're staying safe and that you're staying warm in the midst of this winter blast. I hear there's warmer weather on the way. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, please just stay safe and warm and dry and all that. That thought for you again. Have you ever thought to yourself that serving people and loving people is inconvenient? I sure have, but I want to share with you a story that I read not long ago in the Bible, and I saw it a little differently this time than I'd seen it the previous 10 times I read it. It's the story that we call the parable of the Good Samaritan, which when Jesus told that parable, most folks would have thought that was kind of an oxymoron, because Samaritans were kind of outcasts. They were not people who were well accepted in Israel. But in Luke chapter 10, Jesus tells the story of a man who was making a journey down a road, honestly, he probably shouldn't have been going down. So now imagine yourself traveling alone in a place where you shouldn't be traveling alone. He gets assaulted, he gets mugged, and some people steal his belongings. They beat him up pretty good, and they leave him there for dead, and there he lays. And a few religious authorities, priests, Levites, those kinds of people, the people that you would have looked up to in those days, they see the man laying there wounded and obviously in need of assistance, and they pass by on the other side of the road. Here's the thing you ought to keep in mind. They did exactly what they were supposed to do according to their religion, because they didn't know if he was dead or alive. The man who's a priest, if he had actually helped the man and found out later that the man had passed away, he couldn't have done his job as a priest. Levite, same story. Those people did exactly what the world around them expected them to do. And then this Samaritan comes along in Jesus' story. He sees the man, he binds up his wounds, he takes him into town, he pays off the innkeeper to take care of the man and says, hey, I'll be back around in town at some point in time in the future and I'll help you out some more if you need more help. And Jesus, the moral behind the story, Jesus tells it is that we're supposed to help our neighbors. But here's something I thought of when I was reading it recently. For the priest and the Levite, when they saw that man there, they probably thought to themselves, boy, if I help him, what's that going to mean for me? If I help him, it's going to be inconvenient because I got places to go, people to see, things to do. I'm on a mission right now, probably going to work or something as far as I can tell. But the priest and the Levite, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And they probably looked at that man and thought, that just looks inconvenient to me over there. For the Samaritan, he didn't look at the man and think, helping him will be inconvenient for me. He looked at the man and probably thought, if I don't help him, what's going to happen to him? He didn't think of it in terms of, well, this could be inconvenient for me. He looked at him and thought, this man needs help. And if I don't help him, what's going to happen to him? Friends, I wonder when's the last time you viewed another person that way? Let's say Jesus put somebody in your life path of whom you would say they obviously need some kind of assistance or some kind of help. The easiest thing to do is think in terms of, well, if I help them, what's that going to mean for me? The hard thing to do is think of it this way. If I don't help them, what's going to happen to them? And for that Samaritan, I don't know what he was doing on that path that day, but I'll guarantee you he had a job to do. He was going someplace and it was important. I'll bet when he got to the innkeeper wanted nothing to do with that man either. So together, they all had to do something that was pretty inconvenient and probably a little bit out of the ordinary. But they asked themselves a question. If I don't help that man, what's going to happen to him? And that's, friends, what it's all about when it comes to serving people and loving people. Sometimes it's inconvenient, but sometimes you got to ask yourself the question, if I don't help them, what's going to happen to them? And what would Jesus do if he was in my sneakers right now? I hope that helps you maybe think of love a little bit differently, maybe think of neighbors a little differently. It's what stuck out to me in that passage. I hope it makes sense to you. Hope you keep yourself safe. Hope you keep yourself warm. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.